Will everyone please rise for prayer? Facing the east, which is in this direction, hands outstretched as if you're going to receive a gift, and follow me solidly in the Muslim prayer. Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. Surely I've turned myself to thee, O Allah, being upright to he who originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not of the polytheists. Surely my prayers and my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and of this I am commanded, for I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant, and I bear witness that none deserves to be worshipped besides thee, O Allah, who came to us in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, to whom all holy praises are ever due. O Allah, I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all of my faults, as none can grant protection against faults but thee. And O Allah, guide me to the best of morals, as none can guide to the best of morals but thee, and keep me free of the evil and indecent morals, as none can keep me free of evil and indecent morals but thee. And O Allah, please make Messenger Elijah Muhammad successful, and make we the true followers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad successful. Here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did make Abraham successful, and the true followers of Abraham successful. For surely thou art praised and magnified in our midst. And O Allah, bless Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and bless we the true followers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Here in the wilderness of North America, as thou did bless Abraham and the true followers of Abraham. For surely thou art praised and magnified in our midst. We are helpers in thy cause, O Allah, by way of thine divine messenger. Please grant to us success. Ameen. Amen. Everybody be seated. It's been a lot going on, and across the nation now, there seems to be a move afoot to bring us into oneness, and I'm thankful for that. And Brother Captain got me on the line with the brothers that's in the National Brotherhood Conference on Thursday, and I had a chance to speak with some of the other ministers, Minister Benjamin, some of the brothers that's involved, and we came to a conclusion that we need to have one standard acceptance letter across the nation. Now, I'm in agreement with that, especially if it's going to bring us into unity as one nation. And I'm also pleased to see the believers, how can I say it, broadening their scope beyond their locations. Most of us, for the most part, have been limited to the area we're in, but this is going to take us to another level. Now, my suggestion was that we use the same letter, but that we still keep the records in the temples, and that they can check with the temples that are in agreement and in alignment with this to make sure that whoever's on the roll. I like it a lot because we can now send out travelers letters, and it's easy for temples now to call back and say, well, is this person in good standing, or is that person in good standing? Because in the past, it seemed like we were the only ones sending travelers letters. Would y'all agree? Yes, sir. But thanks to Allah, this is going to be a good thing. And I hope and pray that it's successful. We'll revise it. The secretary and I will begin to talk to everybody. And some things we need to do in-house. What they call a workshop in-house. Yes, we have some things like that to do. But the Lamb's Book of Life is here. And this is going to be dealing with those who come in the future. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We've been in the field laboring with grapes all on our vest, grape juice all on our neck, so we want to be respectful of that. And I pray Allah that, everything that's being done in that way turns out to be what we need as a nation. I also have been watching the nation across the country. It's a lot of temples beginning to pop up, but there's also a lot of ministers that are popping up. And in popping up that way, it doesn't give the Messengers program, the kind of, how can I put it, respect that is needed in it, because that means that anybody can just say, well, I'm a minister, throw some chairs out, and go ahead on and say, well, I'm a temple. So I think this is another way of bringing uniformity to the Nation of Islam, and I pray, Allah, that it's going to definitely elevate us as believers. How many people agree with that position? Can I just see your hands? Okay, praise be Allah. Okay, because the thing is, without uniformity, you don't got nothing. You don't have anything. You know, if we're not thinking as one nation, one messenger, one God, you know, and one set of rules, we have nothing. See, if we be cavalier like it is, say like multiple choice type stuff and all that, you know, then it could create an issue further up the road. But we're headed for success. And we're going to be successful. I know it may not look like it, but all these trials that you're going through as believers, trust me, Allah would not put them on you if you couldn't handle them. You know, if you couldn't bear them, you wouldn't get them. We had to be tried with something, and then we had to be tried with nothing. You know, that we had to be tried with a temple with so many believers you can't get around. Then we had to be tried with a temple with very few believers. We had to be tried by Allah in many different ways. Your faith has to be tested. You know, and the things you love and care about, sometimes not going quite the way you would like them to go. You know, but all these trials are just molding you and fashioning you into what Allah is going to use. I'm watching the nation, and I'm watching very carefully. I've seen people build up real big kingdoms, you know, in the name of Allah and His Messenger, only to have the air let out of them. And then, you know, you see those who just keep putting along, but at least they're holding on. You know what I mean? They're holding on, and they seem to be growing, actually, if not in membership, in strength. See, and strength counts for something too. See, and you often hear me say it to you repeatedly. If we have to do business, let's do business from a position of strength. Because, you know, it's easy to take the weak side. Y'all know that. It's very easy, as we used to say, to cop out, pretty much. But no, go ahead and take your medicine. I know it's a little tough, it's a little strong, you know what I mean? Just take your medicine, do what you got to do. The little pitfalls that the devil put before you, you'll jump the hurdle. It's not going to get you down. You're going to make it, you see? And for the most part, we have to learn to love one another. See, this is something that maybe, I don't know how many other ministers have picked up on it, but there seems to be a removal from the brotherhood and the sisterhood of love for one another. You know, and like a bitterness is replacing the love. Would y'all agree with me? You know, and what we need to do is get back into love. I think they even made a play one time called Whatever Happened to Black Love. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a play like that. But it's real, though. It's not play. You have to ask yourself, I remember the respect of the believer. You know, you could bump into a believer and say, oh, I'm so sorry, brother. I'm so sorry, sister. You know, and then the other side would even say, well, it's my fault, actually. I was there in a way. You know, it would be very respectful. But now, it's almost like buzzards sitting on a tree waiting, looking for the dead carcass, you know. It don't say in our teachings where the carcass is. You know what I mean? The buzzards would gather. It's not the teachings, am I right or wrong? It says where the eagles are gathered, right? That's where the carcass is. Am I right or wrong? That's our teaching, not the buzzards, you know. But there's like a thing where it's like waiting to pounce. You know, as soon as a believer make a mistake, just gonna hop right on the believer. You know, gut him out. You know, like an old buzzard. Y'all know what I'm saying. But you have to be respectful. And one thing Messenger Elijah Muhammad said, and I hope we never lose sight of it, he said, always, no matter what the situation, leave a believer room to save face. You understand what I'm saying? Make sure that person has a recourse. a way to explain themselves, ask for forgiveness, leave them a room to save face. Would y'all agree with that? And this is what, now it's like the respect, the love for the believers it's just a fading thing. And another thing about it that I see amongst the believer, and can I talk a little frank with y'all today? Praise be Allah. I see a desire for believers to pretend to be smarter than one another. It's an illness that has come into the nation now, that believers want to act like they are smarter than other believers. But you don't have no secret stuff that another believer can't obtain. Right. Am I right? Right? If anything, and you are coming with that attitude, is because you're not sharing. Right? You're not enlightening the other believer. Am I right or wrong? You would have to ask yourself, well, what is the duty of civilized man? He is to teach civilization to the uncivilized, right? And what happens if civilized man fails to perform his duty? Our teachers say he must be beaten with many stripes. Right or wrong? See? So this thing of air about I'm smarter, no more, y'all need to fall in line and take lessons. You understand what I mean? That's not the message's teachings. You got to understand that. Many times, the people are no smarter, or they might know more, but are unable to live the life. You see what I'm saying? Some people know a whole lot, but then they can't live the life. So all of us got some kind of fault, right or wrong. Right. I mean, if you put me under the microscope, you'll say, "Oh, brother minister, why you keep eating all them cakes, man? It's ridiculous. The messenger told us to put that down and that, right? Here you are, every time I see you, you got some kind of carrot cake, bean cake in your mouth. You know what I mean? Bean pie, cut it up. Everybody got something. Right or wrong? Right. See, I got a sweet tooth. Yes, I do. And I shouldn't have it because the messenger teaches on that. Am I right or wrong? Right. See, but everybody got something. Pride. Some people have too much pride. Right. And the scriptures say pride goes before a fall. You see? So if you are real proud and you don't know how to humble yourself, you're headed for destruction. Because you go to who can afford to be proud and pompous when we have a God that's over us all? You know what I mean? We have a true and living God that's over all of us. Who can afford the luxury of being proud? Do you see what I'm saying? Stand up for the righteous. Fight for the righteous. It's not going to be easy. The world offers our people so much stuff. The messenger said in one tape I was listening to, he said, if we don't get up and do our job and get on our post, our people is bound to go with the devil. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's bound. You know what bound means? Can't help themselves. When something is bound, what? It can't help itself. Right or wrong? He said our people are bound to go with the devil. So we want to try to make it in such a way that our people don't have to go with our enemy. It's so easy for us to, come out, teach, lecture, talk. It's so easy for us to set up what they like to call now study groups. Did you know the messenger never had a study group? Did y'all know that? No study group. No study group. You had the processing department for you to write your letter. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the new converts will come in, and they had special classes for them. And the older believers was instructed to stay away from the new converts. You know what I'm saying? But as far as a study group, that just didn't exist. When you seen a small temple open up, it wasn't called a study group. It was called a satellite temple. It made sure emphasis was put on that satellite, that it was in the process of becoming what, y'all? A temple. It was a satellite temple. No study groups. You can check any paper, Muhammad speaks, you can go through them, flip the pages, you can look through them, you can study all the messenger's work. No study groups. Study groups come directly from Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's his thing. If you are a study group, it's because you are still operating in his mind. You see? But once you are in the knowledge of the true and living God and his last and greatest messenger, you understand what was done. Now you see where we had a satellite in Chester. I remember we put a satellite there. Then it became a temple. We put a satellite, I believe, up in Norristown. We had satellites in different cities around Temple 12, other temples that were main temples had satellites around them. And this allowed the temples to grow and people that wasn't in the cities to learn the messenger's teachings. But those satellite temples had to be under an existing temple. Nobody couldn't just pop up in Chester and say, we're a satellite. Can't do that. It's like now you pop up and say, study group this, study group that, study group here, study group there. You couldn't do that then. You would have to say, well, yes, we are tied to temple number 12, Minister Jeremiah Shabbat. Temple number 7, Minister Farrakhan. We're tied. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever the minister in that area, you were tied to it. We're temple number 15, Minister Rockmine. See, you had to be tied to a temple to be a satellite. This is one of the things I like about this telephone conversation, because it's bringing things back into common. You know what I'm saying? You hear a holy man with a name like Hafiz, Al-Rashad, Maqmeen, you understand? To the ninth power, Ali. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then you look at the 11 o'clock news and you see it. Right? Got photos of him at the bank. Still got the money bags that exploded in his hands with a name. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is why we have to, we have to be one mind, one nation, one God, one messenger, following one set of rules. Because this will keep us safe, Anybody popping up, and see, this thing of you are the temple and you don't need a temple is a moot issue. It's a moot issue. Because the messenger already said he wants a temple on every corner. Just to match up with as many churches, he wants that many temples. You see, they never changed those instructions. You see? But what you have is just like the study groups. People that want to be the temple themselves. All this stuff comes out of the mind of a particular minister. You know what I'm saying? It's not the messenger's teachings. The messenger never at any point in time told the believers, you're going to be a temple yourself unless it's in that day. Remember that. And what day? Day we fasted and prayed for 379 years. Right? When the gods in their own time will remove this devil from the planet Earth. Do you understand? We're not in that day. Devil is still strong, pushing hard. In fact, he seems to be winning over a lot of the stars in heaven. They're going to science stuff and everything. Stars in heaven just falling. Do you see? So we're not in that day that you can be a temple yourself. And even in that day, the messenger teaches us what? You still got to go study. He said in that hour, how many people read it in the Theology of Time? He said in that day you'll be taken to the Peachtree Pyramid School. Am I right? And you will be taught all of the rest of the secrets of the universe and the seven heavens and the things beyond. You would learn those things in the Peachtree Pyramid School. So it's not like you ever the temple yourself and know it all. That's dead in the water. What we need to do is get about our instructions of unity. Unity is the thing we got to push for. Now, never think it's going to be like a baseball game full of believers. Not yet, anyway. But right now, while we're building, don't be looking for that. You look for the believers where you can find them and study their belief. You know who believes and who don't. Oh man, we go through stuff. Sometimes we change up, right or wrong. Sometimes, but that don't mean we not believers. We might just at that time the pressure might be so great. We don't know. You might be ready to lose your home. We don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So, but we do know one thing. You are not going to be able to be the temple. Not you. You just can't do it. You can be a part of the temple of God. See, You can't be the